Hello learners, welcome to this video presentation. I am Professor K. Srinivas, working with NIPA, New Delhi. I am head of ICT and Project Management Unit, and my expertise is on MOOCs, online teaching learning, and online pedagogies. In today's topic, I will be talking about the technology use in higher education and operational strategies. This is with reference to the New Educational Policy 2020. We all know very well that Digital India campaign is helping to transform the entire nation into a digitally empowered society and the knowledge economy. Educational technology especially will play an important role in the improvement of educational processes and the outcomes. If you look at this technology, of course we have been using this technology word so often in our educational policy also. The effectiveness of the technology is directly proportional to the competence, intent and the attitude of the user. So competence building is very important, positive intent, developing the positive intent and right attitude are a key for the successful integration of technology in the teaching learning process. Also, the relationship between the technology and the education at all the levels is bidirectional. And as you know, the extensive use of technology in teaching and learning, removing language barriers, increasing access for Divyang students and educational planning and administration are some of the key factors which will be doing it. Before I proceed further, let me focus some light on the new educational policy factors. The new educational policy 2020 recognizes the importance of leveraging the advantages of technology while acknowledging its potential risks and dangers. It calls for carefully designed and appropriate scaled pilot studies to determine how the benefits of online/digital education can be reaped while addressing or mitigating the downsides. And as you know that there are so many digital platforms and ongoing ICT based education initiatives are available, may it be SwayamPrabha, National Digital Platform, EPG Pathshala and so on and so forth, must be optimized and expanded to meet the current and future challenges in improving quality education for all. Apart from this, one more important issue I wish to flag is strategically various technological applications practicing and using in teaching and learning, example of like video lecturing, mobile learning and various learning management systems like Moodle, Canvas and so on and so forth. So much social media, open educational resources, I think one of the untapped area, and of course massive open online courses, learning analytics, all these things play a major role as far as this is concerned. And also we need to ensure the equitable use of these technologies for quality learning. The teachers require suitable training and development to be effective online educators. There is a lot of gap of using the technology in teaching and learning process. Thanks to this COVID environment, many of the teachers have moved towards the online mode of teaching. But the online mode of teaching means basically they are using the synchronous platforms like Zoom, Google Meet and so on and so forth. But there is a definite need of using the asynchronous learning environment which are going to support the beyond the classroom activities and support. And at the same time, the assessments also should be having a different approach as such. So the NEP 2020 is also envisaged that the existing e-learning platforms like Diksha, Swayam and so on and so forth will also be leveraged for creating virtual labs so that all students have equal access to quality, practical and hands-on experiment-based learning experiences. One important factor I wish to bring your kind attention here is the effectiveness of the technology, as again rightly mentioned, directly connected with the three important aspects like competence building and building the right intent and attitude. The another important four quadrant approach I wish to draw your kind attention is about every teacher wants to make the process of learning impactful, engaging, interesting and challenging. So, with the help of technology and technological integration in the teaching learning process, how do we build these processes into that? That is the very key which we need to achieve in this days to come. If you look at the thrust of technological interventions which was envisaged in our new educational policy, it may be teaching, learning and evaluation processes. Again, this is again going to be a very important change. Supporting teachers' preparedness and the professional development, because only professional teachers can only do a lot of justice, and that too when we all of us moved from the conventional classroom based teaching to the online mode of teaching. Now it is being moved towards the blended approach where we have offline mode of teaching and online mode of teaching. And the supporting teachers' preparedness is very important factor. And also enhancing the educational access to Divyang students, removing the language barriers, streamlining educational management and administration. One small important change what we have started noticing during this 2 years of online teaching is the teacher and the teaching learning process. Earlier it was confined to the four walls of the classroom, has moved to the living rooms of the children. So not only the students, not only their parents also started watching us, their spouse and their other members, everybody started watching us. So what are the areas which they are looking for? Number one, the teacher's professional competency, that means the domain expertise will be visible to all of us. Second thing is pedagogical expertise. What are the pedagogical approaches he is using to bring, because we have so much in diversity in the classroom, slow learners, average learners, gifted learners, introverts, extroverts, so many things are there. And also the technological expertise, and then also comes the 3 P's, the passion, the patience and the perseverance, and the thorough theoretical understanding and the technological understanding of the ecosystem. May it be a blended mode of teaching, may it be online classes, may it be MOOCs courses or online courses. So these things are very much, earlier it was confined to only 4 walls of the classroom. Now, and for the last 2 years, one more thing which I wish to bring to your kind attention is about the quality consciousness of the parents and the students and so on and so forth. So in this context, the role of technology is going to be a major key element which we are going to do it here. And the thrust of the technological interventions, if you look at so of course the disruptive technologies like artificial intelligence, which is going to make a major change in and major recommendation, and is going to change the teaching, learning and assessment process which we have been doing. And of course 3D, 7D, virtual reality has emerged. Also the extensive research is also needed in the new technologies which involving the artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, smart boards, handheld computing devices, adaptive computer testing and other forms of educational and software hardware. It's not only a hardware part or a software part. Again and again I wish to emphasize that humanware component is also going to play a major role. So that if all 3 sides of the triangle are in order, then the things will be, we can get the desired output as such. So the another important thrust of technological intervention is, before scaling up of interventions, the use and integration of technologies to improve multiple aspects of education should be rigorously and transparently evaluated irrelevant. This is a very important aspect to be taken into consideration. There are so much artificial intelligence applications are available there, and many startups and many educational technology firms have come up with so much solutions. But again, this has to be reached to the school level and the college level, and the last student also can take the advantage of that. Then only we can have this process as such. If you look at the adoption of these emerging technologies like the artificial intelligence, the robotics, and 3D simulations and other computing, and of course the educational policy has talked about three important things. One is about National Educational Technology Forum, and this is basically to categorize the emergent technologies based on their potential. Of course, they will be meeting with the Ministry of Education, which recommend NET, NAP, NIRFs to take up further research on the identified areas, and of course it will be feeding that inputs to the National Research Foundation. If you look at in detail about National Educational Technology Forum, and it basically advises the central and state governments to use of technology in education. Use of technology, now if you must have noticed the current trend which we have been using. Of course, most of the teachers and students have comfortably got into the synchronous learning environments like Zoom, Google Meet, Jitsi, and so on and so forth. But what is more important is beyond the classroom support and the schedule. So that many students, because of their networking issues or hardware issues or anything, so they could able to access the recorded lectures, pre-recorded lectures, simulations, which is being provided by the teacher to the classroom, so that beyond the class they could able to learn. As you know very well that every student's learning pace, learning space, learning time is different. So if you can provide these resources and either could be before the classroom or after the classroom, and one of the biggest advantages the students will take the learning. So to do this, the teachers has to play a major role, because the transformation has to happen, because we are moving from the push mode of a learning to the pull mode of a learning. Where a teacher is going to set up the environment in this regard, where the teacher has to convince the learners, saying that yes, this could be helpful for them, like the resources are available 24/7, the scaffolding of the teacher will be available, and learning problems which is connecting to the external real world, which could be very much helpful for them. And at the same time, there is a collaborative learning environment, where not only from the teacher, the learners learning from the peers also. So then that could be connected with the classroom mode of teaching. So that's what our educational policy is talking about, the blended mode of teaching. I mean to say here the blending of the teaching learning experiences. That's the point which I wish to emphasize. The second point is build intellectual and institutional capabilities in educational technology. It cannot happen overnight, and a lot of effort needs to be, and we have to take the confidence of the teachers, we have to take the confidence of the academic administrators, we have to take the confidence of the learners, so that to implement these ideas in letter and spirit. And also articulate new directions for the research and innovation. Lot of research is required to be done. Lot of practitioners are there in this country. So lot of work is being done. So their services are going to be also used in this regard as such. If you look at the developmental aspect, of course, in the both school education and higher education, for example, in the school education, there is a Diksha platform, Nishta platform, and of course, the for Swayam platforms are available. The Arpit courses are very much in demand, and very good quality institutions, very good quality courses are going to be prepared and available for the public domain. Diksha and Swayam will be better better integrated across the school and higher education systems. And also we need to promote and expand Diksha as well as other educational technology initiatives to more extent possible. And a rich variety of educational softwares in all major Indian languages, and will also be access to Divyang student. This is a very good demand, and a lot of effort is going on in this regard. And teaching learning content uploaded into the Diksha, Swayam Arpit platforms are already available there, and these courses are available in two platforms. If you look at the Swayam courses, of course there are scheduled courses and there are self-paced courses. I think this is the need, and it should be integrated. And the new educational policy is also talking about up to 40% of the credit students can take from these platforms. Suitable equipment but suitably integrated e-contents into the teaching learning process. So the point which I just want to emphasize here is not necessarily in the first instance we have to develop the content. So the excellent content is available in the form of open educational resources like Creative Commons material prepared by the top class institutions across the world. Even of course our NPTEL is also providing an excellent material. Apart from this, we have excellent digital initiatives of Government of India developed in terms of NME ICT. Like SwayamPrabha, National Digital Library, EPG Pathshala, FOSSI, Sakshat, and so on and so forth. And we NIPA also developed an excellent platform for the digital educational content which was so much is available. I think we need to promote that how to use this content in their blended mode of teaching. So then if the content is not suitable as per their expected learning outcomes, yes, and we need to promote how to use the simple and easy to use technological tools to develop the content as such. And very, very importantly, the role of higher education institutions in this regard is very, very important, and they need to play an active role in conducting the research on disruptive versions of instructional material courses, including online courses, and assessing their impact on specific areas. And of course the discussion forum, because these courses are being designed, developed and delivered in 4-quadrant approach like e-tutorials, e-content, discussion forum, and of course the assessment. So what is important is which of the areas the students are lacking, the faculty members are facing difficulty, so that the research will be definitely helpful in this area. The higher education institutions will conduct targeted training for job readiness and address skilling, de-skilling and scaling, keeping you of the disruptive technologies. And I must believe in one thing, the training should be outcome based and hands-on based. And it's not the number of days. What is important is what type of extended hand-holding support will be provided to the people. At the same time, we wish to see that how do we motivate the learner, how do we engage the learner, how do we encourage the learner so that he or she can take this one and so that he or she can prepare for to meet the external real world situations. That's very much important. Universities will also aim to offer PhD in master's program in core areas such as machine learning as well as in multidisciplinary fields of AI plus X and so on and so forth. And of course, the school education and continuing education, of course the higher education will assist in raising the general populace awareness about the potentials and effectiveness of disruptive technologies to facilitate informed choice and consent. We have one of the best example of the Alexa, which we are Amazon Alexa, which we have been using, which is a wonderfully demonstrated AI tool, and even our browsers are also AI compatible. Slowly and steadily these things, unless and until we have the data, and so much work is also going on using the artificial intelligence in assessment and in other so on and so forth areas. And the study of current affairs and ethical issues will include a discussion on disruptive technologies. Appropriate instructional and discussion material will also be prepared for again all these levels of schooling, school education to the higher education. And very, very important is it is critical to raise awareness on issues of privacy, laws, standards and ethical issues associated with the AI based data handling and data production etc. as such. And our NEP 2020 is also recognizes the importance of leveraging the advantages of technology while acknowledging the potential risks and dangers, and carefully designed and appropriate scaled pilot projects to determine the benefits of digital online education and optimizing and expanding the existing digital platforms and ongoing ICT based educational initiatives to meet the current needs and future challenges. So much has been done in terms of ICT enabled processes, which I just narrated few minutes back about the technology mediated teaching learning process. So that I think we should use those material and to the extent possible, using technology for online and digital education adequately to address concerns of equity. But at the same time, so there is so much scope, but what are the things which we need to focus on? The hardware issues, like many cases smartphones are being used, but smartphone is a very good tool to receive the communication, but if it is being used and of course taking some levels of the assessment, but if it is going beyond that, it will be very difficult to manage it. And similarly, the softwares also, the softwares may be useful for the providing the synchronous mode of learning and of course asynchronous mode like Moodle, Google Classroom. Of course, the Google Classroom and Moodle are being used extensively during this 2 years of the corona pandemic period. But still the quality option are still there. We should work on that. And of course many other applications are also being supported in this regard as such. If you look at the online and digital education, there are of course apart from the possibilities, there are certain challenges also. First and foremost thing, I should start with the digital competencies of teachers to meet the further needs. The digital competencies, one should start with how to effectively use the cloud based storage like Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, effective utilization, like how to create the folder, how to share the content over there and how to disseminate the content. So that what happened, we need not put a stress on the learning management systems or the platforms to work on that. And it's not a theoretical part. And now coming to the content again. So in my opinion, I divide the content, video content or text content into 2 parts. One is the core resources, the other one is a supplementary resources. Excellent tools like Screencastify and many other tools like OBS are available, so that you can prepare a good quality interactive content can be prepared. The tools like H5E, Lumi, and these are all tools which will facilitate the teachers to provide a good quality. So what is more important apart from the technological and digital competencies, we need to provide the enough environment for the teachers, and we need to motivate them, engage them and encourage them so that that their creativity and definitely will come out and they will do the needful as such. The another issue is unavailability of open and public digital resource infrastructure. Yes, of course, still of so many years, very less usage of open educational resources. The Creative Commons content is being used. And still the people have been talking about whether there is an intellectual property rights, but so that awareness need to be provided to the people to the extent possible, so that instead of creating the content in the first instance, they can use a good quality supplementary reading material which can be able to use it. Third important point is limitation in delivering certain type of courses of subjects in online and digital space. Yes, this is again a big debatable issue. But the point is that everything cannot be delivered in online. Yes, definitely we required a blended mode approach. So I think we need to explore the possibilities to see that how this some specific courses and subjects can be delivered using online and digital space. Assessment is a big issue because now we have been talking about the blended mode of an approach. So blending of the experiences, so we want to see that when the student comes in contact, face-to-face contact, they can have a pen and paper examination, they can have a small group activities, they can have a large group activities. But when it comes to the online mode using the ICT tools or learning management systems or any other tools, so we had to define that what type of assessments are going to be, and it's only to promote and to see that what best a student can able to learn, and also to see that what type of support is required to be provided to the students in this regard, if at all, if he is not performing well. And of course, we have online and digital education. The way forward is we need to have a suitable teacher training, prepared teachers as effective online educators. This is very, very important. And of course, change in pedagogy for the online and digital education. The conventional pedagogical approach will not work here. We had to work seriously into that. Online assessment in different approach, blended approach with online and experiential learning, which is a very key, leveraging existing platforms for creating virtual labs, educational programs to be made available 24/7 in different languages so that it can reach all the learners. Availability of affordable computing devices to eliminate the digital divide, optimize and expand existing digital platforms and ICT based solutions, provide two-way audio and video interface for holding online classes. So these are the key digital online and digital education initiatives which was talked in the NEP, starting from the pilot studies on online education to the online assessment examination, addressing the digital divide to the laying down the standards. As far as the implementation strategies are concerned, yes, continuous customization of architecture is very much, digital architecture is very important. Design development rolled out of MOOCs for students and teachers with appropriate policy evaluation, certifications and credit transfer. Dissemination of digital content to multiple modes, this is very, very important. Collaboration and coordination with the national and state level institutions for converging of efforts, and very importantly, conduct research on disruptive technologies on ICT implementation. Of course, we have made some recommendations in this regard. There are good quality free open source tools are available. For example, if you want to use the asynchronous learning environment, Moodle, the Genomio Moodle is very much available, and it's available in the cloud platform. We could able to use and you can upload the courses and we can conduct the programs hassle free. And apart from that, of course, good quality open educational resources are available, and good quality digital content available in the digital initiatives are available, and simple to use open source video editing tools are also available. I think these are all the things which are very much important to be used for the technology integration in the higher education, and in this regard these are all the things I wish to say as far as the operationalization of the strategies of using the technology in the higher education. Thank you very much.